Eddie Van Halen here, telling you, keep playing, man. Gotta keep playing. It's the only thing there is. Music, man. Keep playing. All right? I'm gonna come looking for you if you don't.
Thursday on February 15th, 8:11 p.m., and we are ready to go. Every time I play a Steinberger with a TransTrem, I say, thank you, Mr. Ned Steinberger. So let's get started. We've got a bunch of people waiting, and we've got a lot of stuff to get to tonight. So let's get started. We've already got Mr. Symmetry Trev here at the door. Welcome in, Symmetry Trev.
Everybody.
Welcome in, sir. Cheers. I hear it cracking open there.
Yep.
How's it been going for you since last night when we were live?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Yep.
It was a good day.
Right on. Right on. I see the lights on down on the pedal board. You plan on doing any playing tonight?
Could happen. We have to see what happens.
Well, regardless, it looks cool back there, all illuminated.
The amp's not lit up yet, but that's easy enough to fix.
Right. All right, let's get Mr. John Shane in here. Welcome in, John.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Long day, early morning?
He works a lot.
So,
Yeah, working a lot.
John works hard.
I know the feeling.
When he's on holidays, he's still taking calls and making deals.
hardly working.
Speaking of working hard and, being busy, understand that there she is right now. Miss Natalie Thayer's here. Welcome in. Welcome in, Natalie. I see you've got your apple juice as well. Cheers.
Yes. I'm drinking some grape juice.
Your 18-year-old single malt apple juice.
Right. It's been a while. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you guys. That's a pretty guitar.
Which one? John's Telly there?
Yeah.
Really,
I keep telling you he needs to retrofit a TransTrem on it. So he's having none of it though.
No.
It could be done.
It could.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Speaking of which, I think that I need to send that custom guitar that I've got with the locking nut on it. I think I may need to send that to Jeff and just have him kind of go through it. I'm having all kinds of trouble figuring out what strings to use. I'll get a set and I'll put it on there, and it's like really, really close. And then the string will break.
Pop
and
up
then,
the C and bango. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the last string you put on?
It was a pack of EVH strings.
Okay.
I had been trying to use the Didarios because I know they make a Steinberger, calibrated set for the double ball. I was like, well, maybe they're all the right size on the ball and the winding and all that anyway. So I'd try those, and I'd get a set that would work, and then another set that didn't seem like it would work. And I don't know if it's the guitar or just trying to use the single ball end on it and locking it down. I've tried to do the calculation of where the jaws need to be and tune it like that. So I think maybe just let him go through it and then give a final, yeah, this is going to work, or nah, do something different.
He'll definitely put 9s on it.
Really?
I think you play with 10s.
I do.
Mhm.
I find that at least on the double ball, I find that the tens tend to last a little bit longer. Because you're putting a lot of stress on that little E string when you go all the way up to G. So
Yeah.
the 9 sets that I've tried, even the labellas, for me personally, they've just ping popped. So
I know a guy that plays on 7s, and when Jeff puts 7s on a TransTrem, he asks for like 3 to 5 E strings because
Right.
he knows they're gonna pop.
yeah. Give me some extras. And that wouldn't be too bad if labella or Didario would include a couple of extra E strings because they pop. When you go up
Right.
that high.
Pay an
Yeah,
extra
I
few
might-
bucks to have that. Right.
I might get a few extra E strings. I might see if that's a thing I could carry.
Oh, that would be cool. That'd be real
Yeah.
cool. That would help out a lot.
Yeah.
So tell us how you've been. I know that you've been busy and you got a lot of stuff going on. You want to update us with the latest?
Well, I thought it'd be fun to do a J Custom sale and really just do the cheapest prices we've ever done because I really want to get Jinhoon manufacturing as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't expect it to be such a huge deal. And we
Right.
basically sold out of everything immediately.
Wow.
And now we're back ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was not expecting to sell out in like 24 hours.
Right. Big, huge response from that. So do you mind if I ask what the stock was? Did you have 100 of them or?
I just had like 35 S-Trems. Like we had lots of headpieces, lots of R-Trems. But yeah, I didn't have more than 50 of anything. So,
Okay.
so
Well, I
next
guess
time,
you kind of
we're more
figure
prepared.
as you're looking at it, you're like, yeah, it is a bit of a niche market. There's only a few people that, there's not thousands upon thousands of people that have these and want these things. But I guess there's way more than you expected,
Yeah, you go to 50% off and they all come out of the woodwork real fast.
to buy them up.
What we're seeing more and more of is boutique guitar headless guitar builders that are buying Steinberger parts to make their own builds.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
Yep. That thought has crossed my mind a few times. What if I take this body from this builder and this neck and slap, Steinberger parts on it and see what happens? So,
I'm doing that in my own living room.
right?
Would that be called a parts burger?
A
Yeah.
parts burger?
A parts
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like
Hold
that.
on for the 12-string TransTrem.
Good luck.
I bet you that there's probably been some thought put into that.
I'm sure there.
Yes. I wouldn't doubt it.
That
So-
sounds pretty cool.
Before we get too much further, I need to get
Yeah.
over here and I need to give thanks to our channel members. We've got channel membership available. If you'd like to help us out and support the show, support what we're doing, keep us going, we certainly appreciate it. And thank you to all of these channel members that are on here. With our newest channel member from last night, Andrew Knox. Welcome in, Andrew.
Very nice.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Appreciate each and every one of you, and we thank you for all the support that we get. So let's get over to the chat and let's say hello to everybody that's here. And we'll scroll up top. There's already 500,000 comments in here. So Zach
busy.
Thong is here hanging out. Welcome in, Zach. Good to see you.
Zach.
Got channel member Bruce, Mr.
Bruce.
BHB Jr. is hanging out with us. Welcome in. Channel member Blue Mox is here. Welcome in, sir. Good to see
Mox.
you. Hopefully you're gonna be home soon, jamming with us again,
He'll be home just as soon as winter ends in Canada.
right? As soon as he can get out of the driveway.
Got it bass backwards there, my friend.
Channel member Ferd Burfel is hanging out, saying howdy to y'all. Welcome in, Ferd. We've got let's see who else. There's channel member Paulie Walnuts is here,
Wally Paul
saying,
Nuts.
"Hey yo, fuckheads."
Good to see you, too, brother.
Welcome into you too, brother. Got channel member Six Fingered Assault hanging out. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let's see who else we got. We've got channel member Charles 75N Dr. Fabric. Natalie Charles takes fabric and he'll fabric top guitars. He's got some Telecasters that he's done. I think that was one of the first that he did. It's
Scratch
becoming
shape doctor.
very, very popular to see his fabric top guitars and see what he does.
I'm
He's
waiting
got
for
one.
that Charles Green to come.
Yeah,
off.
he's got one in the works for Charles Green.
I want to
It's
see
going to be made
that.
out of Motley Crue concert T-shirts.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. So as opposed to having one airbrushed or specially painted, you get the shirt or the fabric or whatever design that you want, and he'll put it on a guitar. Really, really cool stuff.
Yeah,
It'd be cool on a Steinberger.
It would be. It would be.
It was suggested, but he was shot down pretty hard.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I kind of. I still haven't decided if I want to refinish it. You know, it's got it's
No, not
it's
the Matte GM one.
it's got the years of natural relicking on it, and you know, it's got the screw holes from where the old Roland pickup was on there, so it's got some character. You know, so it's a player. It's a player,
The only thing that really would bother me is the screw holes, the wear.
right?
Fine, but somebody put a synth on that is just well.
Well, I know
Steve,
a guy.
He's
I
a
know a
people.
guy that's got one. I could put one back on here, and then
There
I
we
could
go.
play. Then I could play piano when
That's right.
when we're playing.
You got to add that extra sound bit to the bottom to the bass notes, though.
Goodness.
It's a guitar.
I don't know if you. I don't know if you caught that, Natalie. That was on a Sunday. We were having some fun with Steve. He had a MIDI pickup or Roland pickup or something, and we.
Oh, I'm curious about the Rollins.
I kept
Sounds
adding
like
little.
shit.
I kept adding little sound bites to when he was playing. It was quite
piano
funny.
type synthy stuff. Yeah.
I've,
I'll have to go back and watch that.
I don't know. I can't remember last time I laughed that hard. It was pretty
I
funny.
think there was 7 or 8 or 9 of us in here.
There was a bunch
And
of us.
everybody had almost tears running down their face.
Every time Steve
Steve was
playing,
just
it
going
was
along.
flatulent.
What guitar was it? Because they have Roland pickups on Steinbergers.
It was an Ibanez object, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's a
Like an
kind
RP
of a luthier
Yeah.
tech guy. So he puts together guitars and
Yeah.
we grab this neck, put it on that body, and
Yeah.
We spent an extra half hour here last night after you guys left. And he did a little guitar lesson for me. Figured a couple
yeah?
more.
go.
Nice. Very cool.
30
Very
minutes
cool.
after that, I was asleep.
All right. Let's see who else we got. We've got Gary. Getter 1952 is here. He's late for being early. You're right
Well,
on
no,
time,
he was
man.
still early.
Right on time. Mr. R2R3, Locking Nut, channel member is here. He says, no R2 on the thumbnail. Now, that's your own fault there, buddy. I said, are you going to join us? Join us? And he's like, I'll pass.
I'll bow out. That's
Yeah, I'll bow out. Yeah. So,
I think he was still at work half an hour ago. We were
yeah,
recording.
yeah. Don't be coming in here, representing that you've been left out, dude.
Well, you could always pop in from work like you did last night from your neighbor's garage.
Yep, he
On
could.
the phone, all big faced, and
It's easy enough to jump in on your phone. We've got Brendan B Squared is here. Welcome in, sir.
butt cheeks.
Counting down to the big ice bath he's going to be taking. He's doing an ice plunge.
one of those crazy.
yeah.
Cut a hole in the frozen lake and jump in the water.
Lunatic.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
Sober, no less.
Let's see. Who else? Yeah. Who else we got? There's channel member Time. Surfing Alien is here. Welcome in. Welcome
Right
in.
on time.
Absolutely. We've got Jeff Buck is here saying hello to all.
Yeah, Jeff.
Welcome.
Right on.
Let's
Jeff
see.
B.
Who else? Rob Blackmore official, channel member, hanging out. Welcome in. There's Ken, Hip Metal Works, channel member, saying good day. Welcome in. Let's see who else we got. There's Fruitcake Tony saying hey now. Welcome in.
Howdy,
Natalie, I don't know if you watch many of the YouTube channels around, but Fruitcake Tony has a channel and he does Halenville on Tuesdays, and then he does Show Me Your Pick on Saturday nights. So we have a lot of fun over there. Anybody that hasn't joined over at Fruitcake Tony, his
There's trivia every night.
link is down in the description, so check him out.
Yeah.
There's the man, news channel member Andrew Knox is here. Welcome
Hey,
in,
buddy.
Welcome in. Let's see who else is here. There's channel member Kurt 5150. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Your boy.
Late Valentine's Day, right?
Well, they were otherwise indisposed last night, weren't they?
They were.
Three of them had wives, and the other one had a birthday.
How would you say that? Nasil, welcome in.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
It's a new face. Glad to see you. Let's
Right
see.
on.
Who else?
Oops,
Bueller.
Wind's
There's
rolling,
Kurt,
rolling.
member for 6 months. Appreciate your support, Kurt.
When do we get to the Ryan avatar bonus thing? We've got
I
see
think
lots of me.
it's-
There's a couple R2s. It's got to be coming up at
I
6
think
months,
it's
right?
6 months. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So then we'll have to come up with something else. Brendan says that I'm wanting him to put a TransTrem on one of his cigar box guitars. No, not the cigar box. One of the shovel guitars. I want a TransTrem on a shovel guitar. You got a nice metal base to put it on, so just figure out the angles and the length, and you'll be good to go.
Well, you take out just.
Yep. We got Bo, Guitar Man 45 is
brother,
here.
how are
Welcome in.
Oh,
Got Ryan Fraley hanging out. Welcome.
right.
Let's see. Seal says, do you guys ever do Instagram Live? No.
No.
No, occasionally, like tonight,
should do.
we'll couple up on Facebook and go there, but I'm not big on the Instagram. I'm just not smart enough to figure it out, I guess. Let's see.
We got to fix that. That's a big demographic we're missing there.
Let's see. Did we say hello to Jeff Buck? I think so.
We
Said
did.
the 50% off was amazing. Right on. Mike himself is here. Excuse me. Says, is a TransTrem a guitar that's used to identify as a normal guitar? I guess, possibly.
Potential.
Possibly.
That was back in their S-Trem days.
Cheech is here. Says, Natalie,
It
you
was the
sell
70s.
electronic parts as well.
Yep, we have lots of electronic parts,
Right on.
vintage and new.
Vintage and new. So is a lot of that stuff that was left over that it didn't get used for production of new guitars, or I would assume that all that went to Gibson.
A lot of that went to Gibson, and but we do have Don over the years. He bought a lot of it on eBay.
Okay. So
yep.
stockpiled.
But we also have newer from Has Electronics.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else do we have here? We got Colleen Brennan. Hey, Natalie. Congrats on the sale.
Excellent.
Thank you.
William Silva's hanging out. Welcome in, William.
Hey, good to see him on L&M Guitar
Yeah,
Corner.
he's hanging out over there. Stephen Maselli is here, saying good evening. Welcome in. Let's see, who else do we have here? We got Martian Murray hanging out. We got number 18. Says, hi, Natalie. I have emailed you regarding an inquiry. Looking forward to hearing from you soon.
I'll check it out.
So look for number 18. Neil is here. It's great to see Natalie back. We've missed her. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Let's see. Who else is hanging out with us? KXM Rock. Cecil Music. Welcome in.
On Sunday, Natalie will get people. So when's Natalie coming back?
Where's Natalie?
Like 2 days after you've been here.
Yeah. Have you heard from her lately? What's she up to? Yeah, all the time. People messaging me on Facebook Messenger and Instagram. Christopher Live Sova's here. You're not late, man. You're right on time. Right on time.
We're still doing roll call.
Yep.
If you're not late, if you're still there before the end of roll call.
Brian H. Santos says Natalie rules. See?
Absolutely.
You're well loved around here, Natalie. Quentin James. Now this guy you got to watch out for. He said, Al, I went with the sausage. He's talking to R2 about something.
It was what he was-
Trust me, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Kind of do.
Quentin's so old, he actually went for some probably servalette or Mexican sausage. It's that benign.
Oh, man. Let's see. Who else do we have here? John ZD351. Welcome in. Andy Carson, channel member, is here. Look at this
Andy
panel
Carson.
of sexiness.
Right, San
Isn't too bad
Francisco
either.
treat.
Welcome in, Andy. Andy is our resident fireman from the Tennessee, is it Chattanooga area?
Chattanooga,
Oh,
yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah. Andy's been a big supporter of the channel. We appreciate you, Andy.
Yeah. And a
Does
great
he have a
member of the
Steinberger?
community.
Does he have a Steinberger? I don't know.
think so.
I don't think so.
He's
We'll
got
have to
some Van Halen guitars, but I don't think he's got a Stein.
have to ask him. I know a gal that can hook y'all up with Steinberger,
Okay.
so let me know.
Headless USA. Headless USA.
Let's see, man.
A
Rolling
little
through
borderline
here.
there, Trev.
Wayne McConnell is here. Welcome in. And the list just keeps going and going. Let's see. James Bridges. Did we say hello to James? New J Custom DB bridge going on a custom XQ base. Thanks, Natalie. So I guess these are some folks that have bought some stuff from you recently. Got my name is Jeff. Where's R2R3 locking nut? Facebook message him and see where he's at. Let's see. Polly Walnuts, did we say hello? I think so. Going down.
Now you can like.
Here we go. Boner Jams is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Boner Jams with the $4.99 super chat, so we have to read his chat.
It's for Trev, so he can read it.
Daily reminder to switch to live chat in the YouTube chat.
Yep, this is for you, Trev. So go right
Been
ahead.
watching my OnlyFans, Smitty. Your areola game is strong smooches. It's because I'm half French, right?
They're puffy.
It's not from the Irish half. It's from the French half.
Man, oh man. See, Jeff Buck has a question. When will Strandberg be available at Headless? Any plans?
So I spoke to Strandberg, and they said we can carry their line.
Cool.
So that is on the list of things to do. However, I've been speaking with Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Interesting.
And we're gonna service their Spirit customers.
Gotcha.
So that's the thing that we're gonna focus on before that.
Step in the right direction for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
We got
exciting.
Uncle Dude has just kicked the door down and joined us. Welcome in. And I think we're caught up with all the hellos and how are yous and welcomes and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
So, we've got a few in the chat that have said they've bought a few things, and you mentioned your sale. Is that sale going to continue on even though you're sold out? Are you still taking orders for it for anyone that's missed out? Or
So I was gonna end the sale on Sunday, but I think I'm gonna keep it going until this Sunday.
due to popular demand?
Yeah, I'll do a post tomorrow, and that'll probably be it after the weekend.
Cool.
Yeah, but we permanently lowered our J Custom prices now.
Awesome. Now,
Yeah.
is he moving forward with a lot of other stuff for you? Anything that you can share or talk about?
Absolutely. So, Gibson has been calling us and sending Spirit customers to us as of a week ago. So, Jinhoon is going to take on making parts for Spirit, and then we're gonna supply it through an Amazon store.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So he'd already been making the R-Trim, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's just kind of, I guess that's one of the more popular things that people with the Spirit would want, replacements for those. I've heard a lot about some of the posts moving or bending or something, and they've needed some replacement parts. It's been hard to find. What exactly is it that's happening with that? Do you know, with that particular problem?
Yeah, it's the post or the spring. People have been having some issue with the Gibson. Yeah, trems. Can't really say too much. Don't want to put it down.
Right.
But I get a lot of, are your trems going to have the same issues? And I haven't had any complaints so far.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was something that the post was shifting in the body, or if it just the post itself was bending out of shape a little bit from where it was, and it could just easily be replaced.
Yeah, I've noticed the more R trems get replaced than TransTrems or S trems for sure. Just the full thing.
Yeah.
Full swap. But some people move to a fixed bridge.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious if eventually I'll need to move to either an S trim or a fixed bridge on that custom guitar and do something else with the TransTrem that's on it. If I can't get it, it's not much point in keeping a guitar with a TransTrem on it if you can't get it to transpose properly because of the guitar, So,
Yeah.
may decide to do something a little different with it.
Well, I'd be curious what Jeff said.
I think maybe I'll send it to you and then kind of let you carry it over. You're not that far, right? You're just 20-minute drive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
20-minute drive.
So we'll see what he says about it. I'd sent him some pictures and told him I was going to send it to him, and then I changed my mind and did the TransTrem rebuild on YouTube. But I think it might be time to just kind of let him look at the overall setup of the guitar and see if it's something that could actually work. I mean, Eddie Van Halen did it with his PV Wolfgang, so you know why shouldn't it work with that? So.
Just from what I've seen, when it works, it works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had it in the drop tuning there for a while too, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, see, I had some success with that. Is I would tune it and calibrate it to like a drop D standard tuning, and then when I would transpose, it would transpose to a drop tuning properly.
Wherever it's supposed to be.
I could keep it calibrated that way. So
and the sustainer is crazy awesome.
Yeah,
no, not so much. But.
We had some fun with that the other night. That was kind of one of those that, man, that was really fun. But then afterwards, you're like, yeah, okay, just for
dirty.
That once.
You were cheating.
Right. Yeah, I feel like you're cheating a little bit. We got Papa Blue has just poked his head in. What's up, Papa Blue? Good to see you.
Buddy.
So, well, what else is new, Miss Natalie?
Well, Jeff and I have been talking about the PV, and Jeff worked on that guitar.
I've wondered.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know Jim DeCola has talked about working on it, and he was interviewed on, whose show was it? I can't remember. But he says, yeah, I've actually got an old TransTrem here on the shelf somewhere that he still had. So can you share what Jeff did to it, or did he go through and do a full setup on it, or did he do some tweaks that were needed?
You know,
are these top secret things that we can't talk about?
I've said a lot already.
Said too much.
She's already got the messages coming in from Jeff. Shut up.
I suspect there was some strengthening in the neck area or somewhere at the neck heel or something.
But I really, Jeff and I have been talking. It'd be cool to get a PV body, put a TransTrem on it, and keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I know a guy that wanted to be here tonight. He's got some hookups with some of the body suppliers that he gets, all of his stuff that he builds. So that's something that I'm interested in doing too. I mean, if it would work properly. So yeah, maybe we'll chat about that a little bit later. Figure out something.
I know. Bruce has a question.
Yeah, I see that one. Let's get to it there. How does that affect the strings if you leave it in an alternate tuning for a long period of time, the TransTrem? Just like any other string, there's really nothing. Natalie, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's really nothing special about the strings on here. They're the same material. They're just measured out to a certain length, and the diameter of the ball end and the wrap that's on it, I believe, has to be within a certain few millimeters or something like that. Because if you put a really, really fat wrap down here in the jaw, you lose some of your calibration up and down. Does that sound right to you? Or
he might have a point. The way I was talking with Jeff the other day about TransTrem, and but I don't. I'd actually really like to ask Jeff that question.
Well, what we need to do is somehow try to convince Jeff to come on here.
Brian, how do you leave your TransTrems? Locked in E standard, just floating?
I usually will just leave it in E. Sometimes I'll be playing, with it locked up, and I'll forget that it's there, and I'll leave it. And it doesn't.
If you leave it locked up, you're pulling on the strings. If you leave it locked down, you're pulling on the spring.
You're loosening the tension on the strings. I don't see that it really makes a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, any metal that you're pulling, you're going to put tension on it and fatigue it, I guess, a little bit. So I don't know. I haven't seen any. Bo says that he's going to be reaching out soon. He solved a few problems that he was occupied with other issues. All right. Be cool to see what you're coming up with, Bo.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. What else is going on in here?
Boys here.
Are those Steinberger problems?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm assuming. Bruce says, for some reason I thought there were some sets that had more flexibility and strength. Don't think it has anything to do. I mean, it's just a guitar string. It's just calibrated to a certain length and diameter, as far as my understanding. I think I found a chart somewhere on the internet, so it had to be true. But it showed the tolerances that that Ned had designed into the strings.
I'd like
So-
to see that.
I'll have to look and find where that was and get that. Let's see what else is going on in chat. Any other questions anybody's got? Nope, everybody's just chatting amongst themselves. So, any cool stuff? Oh, somebody, before I forget, I had someone reached out to me and said they'd like to talk about Steinbergers and would possibly like to come on the show at some point. And it turned out to be the owner of the Dimebag Darrell TransTrem Steinbergers.
Oh, Billy.
Yeah. So maybe have him on soon, talk about his Steinberger. I guess that one just left the bench over at Jeff's.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love
Yeah.
to see him play too.
Do you know what all was done to that guitar? Was it just mechanicals upgrading or?
Yeah, he wanted to keep the DNA as is,
Mm-hmm.
and he did I believe a full mechanical restoration.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he had mentioned that the Steinberger hadn't worked or the TransTrem hadn't worked in years, and he finally got
Yeah.
that sorted out. So that'll be cool to see that one. He sent me a picture of a screenshot of our show where you were on and you had it and you were holding it up, and he's like, "Yeah, that one's mine. You know, let's talk Steinbergers." So I was like, "Yep." So
He
we'll
was
be
really
seeing.
excited.
Yeah. Look at here, Boner Jams, man. He's just on it tonight. Boner Jams with the $9.99 super chat.
He's hoping to make you smitten with his big spending, Natalie.
He says, let's be politically correct. Do we have any non-binary trim available for purchasing? Deshane, you look delicious tonight.
No,
wearing your
all the
Sunday
trims
best.
are female.
They're all female. They know
That
what
is the
they
right
are.
answer.
Exactly.
I don't call my guitar stand.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, let me go get Bob over here. Yeah, that just doesn't sound right. Dwight Bailey. The
Here's
Hitman
Dwight.
The
is in the
Hitman.
house. Welcome in, Dwight. Good to see you. Let's see.
Surprisingly, doesn't have a TransTrem. He's got a lot of guitars, but he doesn't have a
Fuck, he
TransTrem.
does. Every time he puts a new short out, it's a new one. The latest one I saw was a Surfing with the Alien guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's probably got. Now, Trev, you said you saw some of his guitars that he had during a.
Twice full tour during the Buffalo meeting.
Yeah.
He has safes in a closet with Gibsons in their cases in the safes. It's
Right.
ridiculous.
So, Natalie, this sounds like a man that needs a Steinberger.
That's why I said surprisingly. Well, there's two people in the chat right now that surprisingly don't have a Steinberger. It's Bo and Dwight.
And Dwight. Yep.
But they've
and
got everything else.
and Boner Jams. Boner Jams is in the market.
True, but considering it can do the drop, the deep tunings, you think,
Mhm.
and what if you had a TransTrem and you tuned the floating position to D standard?
Yeah,
Right.
once you get
That
down,
even work,
down
or would it get
low,
too
though,
floppy?
That just turns into spaghetti.
Yeah, I think it would get way too floppy, because as it is,
14s or something for strings.
down in that low, that B. Now I must say, I don't know, Natalie, what it is about this particular guitar, but after doing the pivot plate on this and spending a lot of time with, calibrating this one, I may just need to spend some time with the GL2T, but this one transposes a little bit better
Oh,
than the GL2T. And I may just need to spend some more time with it, but
that's really interesting.
down in the B, I mean, it's very, 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 very accurate. I've been
The
loving this guitar.
GL2T is pretty good
What's
too.
the serial number on that one?
This is a low serial number. Let me see. Let me just get it over here. It'd probably be easier.
Make you big.
Sure. Let's see, can
See
we
if you
see
can
it?
see it.
There it is.
Okay, so it's Newberg 4812.
Yeah. So it's a lower one, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is Rob, who was wanting to come on tonight, but couldn't make it. He was working. He saw this guitar and he was like, Rob. He messaged me and he goes, "Damn it, dude." He says, "You're making it where I'm gonna have to get one." So he found one and bought it. And he liked the way that it looked. He's got the GL2T as well, like mine. And ever since he's gotten it,
you could tell he was a little bit jelly.
Yeah. So he found one and he got it, and he's really, really liking the balance of it. A little bit bigger body. It feels a little more natural when you're playing as opposed to the little GL body. But yeah, I've had a lot of people that have messaged me and they're like, "Man, after seeing those Steinbergers, I want one." And I'm like, "Well, I know somebody, so trying to send them all your way."
I'm seeing fewer and fewer GL2Ts on Reverb for sale. It's like everyone's keeping them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, what's it going to be worth in another 5 years?
Yeah, I know that mine won't be going anywhere.
Yep.
Let's see, Mr. Macelli says, I have Steinberger pickups in my 66 Hagstrom 12-string. Does that count? Yeah.
Wow.
Were they Steinberger pickups out of a Spirit?
Yeah. Do they say EMG on them?
Yeah.
Right.
Or do they say Steinberger? Yeah.
We hope they say
versus
EMG.
Gibson thing.
Right. Wall Cries is here. Says, Ryan, I still really like your Beretta. Do I have a Beretta?
I don't know.
Didn't you that pink thing you put the new pickup in? The Kramer?
Is that a Beretta? Is that a Beretta special?
I think it was.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was a Pacer special or
I haven't
Beretta
seen it in Coon's age. It must be behind the couch.
Uh-uh. It's right there in the corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I got it hanging out with the Diver Down Patty Dill guitar there. Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, there is. Yes, it's the purple one. Cool. R2R3 says, I talked to Vito last night over some pizza. He said he's going to make a comeback.
deep dish
I
pizza?
said, wait. Damn, R2. It doesn't have the same delivery unless you're on here, R2, so.
It would be better. You home yet? Fuck.
Jeff says, what's the pivot? Where does one get a pivot?
Oh, pivot. Like for a bass?
I think it was when we were talking about the pivot point for the R-Trem.
Oh, I was thinking about a pivot plate.
Or it could be, is that what I said? Pivot plate? Yeah, that's what I replaced, right? Let me grab it.
Yeah. Is it still in its little plastic air bubble case? Yep, it is.
Of course it is.
That's the best shipping ever. I swear to God. It's,
Yeah.
The RWB shipping, right?
Yeah.
You package your item in air.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wish we had that for J Custom.
Okay, so that is the pivot plate out of a TransTrem.
That's really cool that they sell that as a component.
Yep. So this right here is where the spring comes in, and the spring is this way. So obviously you can see that so it would be like that in the guitar. And the tension of the spring is pushing against this little tab here. So what I had found on this one was there's a crack that you can probably
Because that's
see.
cast, right? That's a cast.
Right through there. This is cast, yeah. So the replacement that they sent me was milled, and that is your pivot plate. There's where the arm goes in, and I could tell a slight weight difference between the two when I changed it out, but that is the pivot plate. So if you picture
So the RWB was much lighter.
a little bit, I mean, I wouldn't say tremendously lighter, but this would be right there, and that little Steinberger plate mounts right over the top right there.
And it's
Together.
on this instrument that you put the new pivot plate.
It's on this guitar. Yeah,
Yep, that one.
And it's transposing amazing. So that's
It is.
amazing.
it is. It
It made
is.
a big difference.
Yeah.
It made a big difference.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it wasn't returning to zero before, correct?
Well, but I think that was a lot to do with some other things. I replaced the rollers that I got from Natalie, and that was a huge help. But after replacing the pivot plate, and I didn't have that spring, not functioning properly because it was pushing against this here that had a crack in it. So there's movement in it, and it wouldn't allow it to.
Too much flex.
Yeah, too much flex.
Can I see your rollers up close?
Sure.
That's what she said.
I don't remember the video with the roller replacement.
I'm going to send you different rollers. I'm going to send you the Babix rollers. I thought we sent you the Babix rollers, but it looks like Maria sent you the J Custom rollers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are.
Yeah, so Jeff made these solid brass rollers.
Sweet.
They're a lot heavier. I'm going to send those to you instead.
Okay. I will test them out and see if it makes a tone difference. But yeah, I've been really pleased with the replacement part that they had on this. When I had it out, you could see down in there. No, you probably can't see. Maybe right there. Right there is one, that little shiny thing, and then that other little shiny thing right there.
Right.
Those are screws that now hold this piece on.
Yeah,
So instead of being cast into this, they actually have milled this little piece separate.
And I'll bet you it's a higher temper too, right? So that it's firm and
could be, yep. So that sits in there and then it bolts down right there and right there. So that was the only difference from the original as far as design wise that I could see.
That was a great video when you swapped that out. Kids, if you haven't seen it, go back in the channel there and look that one up. That was a lot of fun going through there and stuff.
Something that I noticed when I took this out, you see all this wear that's right here?
Yep.
You'll notice on a lot of older TransTrems, and Natalie, you can probably confirm this, you will see right down on here on the main plate, right where this is, and you see that rubbing that's been there, is over on this side right here. And you'll see down in here that little main plate a lot of times is chipped right there. You see a lot of those, Natalie, that come in and it's chipped off a little piece right there.
Yeah. I haven't noticed that, to be honest.
You haven't. You're going to start noticing it now.
Yeah.
Look at a lot of the TransTrem guitars that you see. And this one doesn't have it, fortunately, but you'll see a little chip that's right down in there. I see it on a lot of guitars that are for sale. I'll look at it and look closely and it'll be chipped. I think what's happened over the years is people have let their bearings wear down.
Oh, yeah.
And it's caused this to shift forward a little bit. And that will actually knock against that little plate and cause it to chip. And I've always wondered, why are these chipping like that?
So
and
when you have a bearing that only does a small movement of its whole radius, it will wear faster than if it was going around and around and around all the time, right? So it makes sense.
Yep. But right down in there, underneath that mounting screw, you'll see it chip down on that plate. Now, I think
look out for that now.
I think that when I was looking at the RWB trim, I've noticed that they took and they shaved a little bit of that off of their plate, maybe to prevent that from happening. I could be mistaken, but it looks like they considered a lot of things when they redesigned their parts. Excuse me. Yeah, I've been really enjoying this one.
That's awesome. That's really interesting about the plate. Because it's not a component that we sell individually. So
right.
It's interesting that they realized, what was going on and made it available, as a separate component.
Improved the weaknesses. Right.
Well, I mean, it came in really handy for me, and it's fortunate that they were selling them because, like I mentioned earlier, there's not, 50,000 people out there that want to buy one of these. It's few of us. So that they would have it available. I mean, that was just phenomenal.
Yeah, we put the bearings together, in house. We use the machine and we, push them into the rod. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Excuse me. All right. So is it time for a little show and tell? I see some stuff behind you, and I'm dying to see what you got.
All right, I'm going to start with the TransTrem bass, which I believe Andy's already shown.
Yeah, he had one when he was on, and he had mentioned that, there were no calibrated strings. His was a more of a GL style body. What do you call that, an XL?
So this is the XM body, and I actually have two of these. And
now she's just bragging.
All right. Wow.
There it
That's
is.
very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yep.
Now, does that have the same locking mechanism? Or is it a little bigger, beefier?
Exponentially bigger, I think. Yeah.
It's beefier.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. And I know who makes the TransTrem base, but I don't know if I can disclose that at this time.
All right. Stay tuned further.
But yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah, I know a lot of bass people that have the TransTrem bass would like to see somebody start to make the strings again, because those, as
Big
far as I
hurdle.
know, are unavailable. Do you happen to have any calibrated bass strings?
I do. They're a little old, but
Yeah.
I do have them. And Daddario's making less and less Steinberger strings recently, which is a little bit sad.
You make a phone call, Natalie.
So everybody call Daddario and tell them to make more Steinberger strings.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. I have another bass, an XL. I'll show you guys.
I love the show and tell when Natalie's on. It's awesome.
Bo says that he has made some changes to the transposing arm.
I'm
Really?
curious what changes.
Yeah, me too. Boner wants to know, can someone please ask Natalie what happened to the headstock? Ooh, look at that thing.
Ooh.
I don't know. There's a headstock there. I don't know what he's talking about.
Look at that. It kind of emerges right out of the background picture. Nice.
So we don't see a lot of these in the bass style.
No
Nope.
kidding.
I think that's the first one I've ever seen.
Right?
Yep.
So
Looks
is there
like the aspect ratio on Eddie Van Halen guitar is squished. It's like
right?
We could compare it.
I'm surprised that he didn't make Michael Anthony play a Steinberger bass when he played his Steinberger.
you will play bass.
Watching.
So what's the story on that one?
It's funny. I have no clue whatsoever what the story is on this one. I found this one upstairs in a case that said Black XL, and I was like, "This is not a Black XL."
Right? Surprise, surprise.
But I believe that Don bought this one as is from a customer, so I don't believe
Right.
this is something that we painted.
Pretty awesome. I'd be
But
curious to hear
This one is for sale if anyone is interested.
Oh, jeez. Ryan's already got a
And,
check wire going to you right now.
Go.
But it has a gorgeous bridge on it, and it looks in mint condition
It's a very nice looking
or
instrument.
excellent
for sure.
condition.
But
I'm
more distracted by your puppy. Puppy.
John, how nice would it be just to go, oh, look at these guitar cases under this bed. I wonder what's in there. Oh, a 59 Les Paul. Oh, a Steinberger XL bass painted like Eddie Van Halen's guitar.
I mean, there is that age group. It's getting older that we're into that kind of stuff, and then you've got it sitting around in barns and under beds and in closets and up in the rafters. And
I think all the 59 Les Pauls have been found.
you think? Did they
That
account
are
for
going
them
to
all?
be found.
Well, they only made, 600 or so of them, and there's only 800 that are accounted for. So,
At least. That's just in the U.S.
right. Yeah. I heard somebody say that, all the fakes that are out there.
I've been playing a 59 Les Paul reissue.
That one is cool.
It has a lot of sustain.
I'll bet.
It's
Well, I'm
the
finding
3
most
million
of the
people that went to Woodstock.
I'm finding most of the Steinberger stuff that I've tried, tons of sustain. Even this body, being made of wood, but with the composite neck, it just, it's loud, resonant. I wish somebody made these still. So.
And you certainly are gelling with its frequencies. I mean, you've had it on you for quite a bit the last little while, and you can tell you guys have a very nice relationship going on because you do some pretty wicked awesome stuff.
Well, I always
Do
say
you have a
that
name yet?
certain guitars. No,
That's a good question.
nope, no name yet.
No name.
Are we taking suggestions?
On a TransTrem with no name.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. So I don't know. Yeah, I have to think about it. What was I going to ask you, Natalie? No, it's gone. It's gone. Oh, I know what it was. Do you have any? We tried to have Andy on a couple weeks ago.
I heard about that.
And he was running through some kind of satellite that was bouncing off of Venus or something. But it was like a 7-second delay, and then he would freeze, and then his audio would go out, and so it was just it was nightmare. We were trying to get any information out of him from NAM, anything that he'd learned from NS Designs. Ned was there and showing off his wares, and he had a couple of prototype style guitars, and I said, was there something there with a TransTrem on it? And he showed a picture, and there was something back on a table, and looking at the trim that was on it, looked like some kind of prototype something that had a very TransTrem looking bar on it. Do you know anything, or can you share anything? Is anything top secret?
So Hap Kuffner reached out to me and asked me to come to NAM and look at it. Unfortunately, I never made it to NAM. We're too busy with operations right now at Headless USA. But I will be talking to Ned next week. I'm supposed to reach out this week, but I'll be talking to him next week. So maybe we'll do like a Zoom call, and he'll tell me more about it.
Okay.
But yeah. Hap, who works for NS Design and co-founded Steinberger, he's going to come next week as well, so I can ask him any questions about it as well.
Cool. Yeah, we are all interested, those of us that didn't get to go. There wasn't a whole lot of coverage over in that area. We got a couple of pictures, and we saw the prototype bass, and then the fin, I guess he had there, with the large single pickup on it. But it looked like it had maybe some fan frets that were on it.
Fan frets, yes.
And a fixed bridge is what it looked like to me. It didn't look like it was a tremolo bridge. But I've wondered, has maybe, Ned gotten to a point where he's like, been there, done that, don't want to fool with that anymore, moving forward, and this is what I'm doing? Or does he realize that possibly some of his older inventions people are just in love with, and might be cool to bring some of that engineering back into something?
Well, what I know about Ned is he's always innovating, and he'd rather make the designs than sell them. So if he's already made it, then he's ready to have someone else put it to market. So his true passion is invention and making new things.
Right.
So that's his focus.
Yep. Sort of like been there, done that, accomplished that. Let me see what else I can do. Yeah.
Yeah. He never wanted to manage, or he'd rather just be in his workshop.
Yeah. Understandably. Let's see. Andy says Natalie needs to fire up one of her favorite guitars and melt our faces.
Well, the funny thing about that is the more I sell guitars and have all the guitars in the house, the worse of a player I've become.
How does that happen?
Because I'm working longer than I usually do, but I'm trying to set time every night to play. So maybe soon.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Let's see. Boner is now speaking Spanish to somebody. Does any of y'all understand what he's saying there?
Headless.
I have many
very much here.
Something.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Who knows?
He's thirsty. That's what he's saying.
Jeff is asking if you had any NAM news. I think you just went over that.
Well, I've heard that everything NAM is headless. Headless everything at NAM.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, Jeff. Andy never came back.
No.
Randall Hogue II is here. He says that it wasn't an RWB trim.
Might have been.
It really was like he was on the space station, wasn't it?
It was. It was.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
The 7-second delay. It's like he's either in the space station or Beirut during the Gulf War.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for laughing slightly at your expenses when I watched it.
No, I mean, it was, but like John said, you ever watch the news, and they got the on-site reporter and the newscaster says, so what do you think of the current situation? And then there's like a 7-second delay where he's sitting there doing that. And he goes, "Yeah, Mike, the situation here is that's kind of what it was."
I like the problem solving when you're like, we will wait exactly 7 seconds to respond to you.
He's counting.
Yeah, 1, 2, and it was nearly right on 7 seconds. So,
And then the New York subway headset he had on.
yeah, it was pretty
And
bad.
we get a lot of people on here where it's the mic really doesn't matter, but he's one of those guys you want to hear everything he says because it's just once he opens the vault, it's like wow, that's super interesting.
We were here, on the edge of our seats, waiting for this news that we've all been, desiring. And he's like, "Yeah."
And the answer is,
we would ask a question, and we would get just like, "Oh, that's a great question. Let me tell you." No.
I bet he had a lot of interesting things to say. We just didn't get to hear them yet.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Right.
It's like, what?
We'll have to get him back on here at some point.
I mean, I had full tech support from my neighbor's husband, who came over and set up a monitor, a light, a camera, a microphone. It would have been very dire if he never came by.
Is that Neil?
Neil.
No. So we have a very intimate neighborhood here, but Neil comes by and helps me with like the stock room, and down the street the other neighbors. Yep.
Well, I
neighbors.
think that maybe that was Neil in the chat here earlier. If not,
Neil, he watches all your shows now.
oh, okay,
Oh,
awesome.
really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Watch out, she may go YJM on you.
Malmsteen.
We didn't offer a donut, so I think we'll be
Right.
okay.
More is more.
Bruce said it was actually like a news delay situation. It was.
It was a little funny to watch.
One
Taco
small step
Bell
for man.
drive through.
Yeah, exactly.
And then let's see. Jeff says Ned, I think, was pictured with that company that makes the TransTrem. Maybe they're Skunk Works.
I actually have a cool poster behind me.
Look at that.
That's one of the originals.
Mm-hmm. Who is that holding the guitar? Do you know?
I wonder if it's Ned. I'll have to find out.
Mm-hmm. I remember seeing that in magazines way back when I was just a wee lad. I do remember that picture.
You were still
being
55 at the time. But
I was still
Be
55.
high to a grasshopper.
I'm not even that old now, John. What are you talking about? So what do you have that's up for sale right now?
So I'm actually gonna put a GP up for sale because I don't put many GPs up. Jeff really stands by them. He really likes them. Thinks they're fun little instruments, and they're flying V shape, which is cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That used to be one that you could get for a couple $1,000s, right?
Yeah, you can still get it for a couple $1,000s.
Well, not on Reverb where we're us normal people are looking. There's one on there now. They want the same as like a GL2T. It's like
How much is it?
12 grand or
$6 grand.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this one I'm putting up for sale. I believe it's an S-Trem, not a TransTrem.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a full mechanical restoration. And it'll be like a pretty good price point. I think I'm gonna put it up for like $3,500.
Oh wow, that's not bad.
So yeah.
It's only 6,500 Canadian.
There you go. Jump on it, John. You want to send it here first? I'll slap a TransTrem on
I
it.
have a picture of it if we want to share it so everybody can see what it's talking about.
Yeah.
Can we get this one?
Sova says, I've been 50 or 51 for years. I can't remember. We've all been 5150.
There it is. So when you said V-shape, I thought of a bigger V, but yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
It's a little V.
It's a wee V.
It's a
Yeah.
wee little V.
Now, can you tell us what the progression of these as they came out was? The GL first?
First was the L, then was the M, and then was the P series.
Okay, so the P came after the GL.
Whether the S, when the S came is a different story. Not that. Yeah, the S.
Can you put that back up, Trev, or no? You got rid of it.
shit, I just killed it.
Oh. Was that released because it was a more affordable version?
It is a more affordable version.
I can bring up my history here.
Because I've wondered that. I'm like, that looks like it's a little more, I don't want to say rudimentary.
It's a little more budget friendly.
Yeah. So, but I've never seen one of those with a Type 1 TransTrem on it. So I had to assume.
No, only Type 2 TransTrems on those.
Yeah, because I thought those came out first and then the GLs came out, but I guess I was mistaken.
Yeah, these came out way later.
Now, I've got a question for you.
So, I mean, which one is that? Is that a 1, a 2?
That's a 2.
1.5? It's a 2?
That's a 2, yeah.
Yep, fully a 2.
Okay, and we got...
Can you zoom in on that base plate there and we'll see if that's cracked?
And I believe the pickups are a little different.
Base plate.
Yeah,
And
it's
not
right
cracked.
above the trim there. It's like it's cracked.
Natalie's like, it's not cracked. It's not
It's
cracked.
not cracked. They're all like that on the Ps. Or not they're all the active electronics ones are, I believe.
Like that?
No, I'm
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
move your mouse over to your left. Go over to the trim. See the mount where they right there. Move that down just a little bit. No, go back up.
To the left of the trim, that line.
Where the mounting screws go down to the body of the guitar in the trim.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. Underneath that screw. That's where I'm talking about, where a lot of them will crack. And you'll see a little chip right there.
Oh,
But-
you're wondering if that one in particular is... I thought you meant the crack, the line on...
No.
You thought
So
it was
there's
a crack
three,
that
one,
everybody
two,
could see,
three?
Natalie?
No.
Is there a fourth?
Well, everyone thinks that's a crack.
So there's a fourth. There's 4 screws, right? The fourth one's hidden underneath the
I
saddle?
think there's 6.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's 2 under here probably.
There's some under the saddles there. But no, that one looks pretty
Is that
pristine.
both gold? Is that the 85?
The gold, I think, is 85, correct?
Right?
You know, I'd have to...
No. The gold is the 81.
And the
Right.
silver's the 85? No,
I
silver's
don't know.
the
Which ones do I have?
I have it all written down here.
All right.
We determined this one was gold, right? So it's an 85.
Oh.
Gold is 85.
Yeah. 81 silver.
I think
Less
so.
is more. More is more.
Okay, so silver is 81, gold is 85, copper and splittable is 89.
What? There's
Cool.
2 others? What's the copper and the what?
The copper is splittable,
Oh, okay.
the 89. So you can actually...
I'd have a
split the
hard
copper.
time with my eyes
89.
determining copper from gold.
So a lot of people will put in a GM1T an 89 because then you get a little bit more tone options.
Gotcha.
So maybe you want to do that, Ryan.
No, I'll stick with what I've got here. I actually thought about pulling the EMG pickup out and putting just a regular passive pickup in here.
Interesting.
And just to see, you know,
Which one would you go with?
just to see.
Custom, baby.
Custom or something like that.
For an aftermarket pickup,
Weren't those Pasadena weights?
I really dig the Friedman Classic Plus that I put into the purple.
That's the one you got from Mark?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I really dig that one.
I'd
But
be-
I don't know.
I'd love
Happen to
hear-
have one, right? So there you go. Could be the transplant.
I would love to hear the passive pickup.
Well,
Yeah,
now
one
I
of
have
those,
to do it.
Now you've got a project.
Now I have to
One
do
of
it.
those, what is it, 5th degree black belt, bare knuckle pickups.
Bare knuckle. Yeah,
They're
I
like a
think
nice fat path.
yeah, Jerry Cantrell plays those, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think a lot of it is just the combination of the pickup and the specific body of the guitar, and I'm curious as to what it would sound like, you know, in a Steinberger with the composite neck and so forth. I mean, it can't sound bad, right?
Sounds
worth
like
a
my
shot.
telly. You're a what?
Let's see if anybody's got any questions or anything in the
Quentin James
chat.
showed up. Howdy, Pops.
He was here earlier.
Was he?
Kentucky.
KXM Rock says didn't even know there was a V.
Well, that's
Yeah.
not really a V, is it?
We're gonna paint
Kind of
it.
more of an A. To make it look
Hey, we're gonna paint it with polka dots.
So if it's got an S trim on it, you said.
Well, a lot of them have TransTrems, but the one that I bought and had the mechanics restored has a S trim.
So if
And that's why
somebody
it's $2,000 and not Or 3,500, not.
Yeah.
6,500.
So if someone purchased that guitar, they could take the S trim out and put a TransTrem in it, and it would work. And then they could sell the S trim and get some of that money back that they spent on the TransTrem and have a TransTrem guitar.
Correct.
That's a great idea. That's what I would do.
Right?
Is it already routed for it?
Yeah,
You
it's
could-
it's the same footprint, right?
Yep, you could drop it in.
Yeah, cool. Now, something I was going to ask you a minute ago and got rudely interrupted by Trev up there. He's not even.
At least it
paying
wasn't
attention.
me this time.
That GL2T that you had with the version 1.5 TransTrem on it.
Yes. I
That's
do have it in the other
sold-
room.
Okay, because I saw that it was gone, so it didn't
So-
sell.
It's really funny you say that because I put it up. It sold in 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I had another call 5 minutes later. Do I have
Offering
it?
more money, so
And
she.
then basically, and I said, it's already sold. I have another one. The other one sold. So me and Jeff have a joke now. Like, we can't have any without having a backup because I can't, I wish I could keep them on reverb. I can't keep them on reverb for longer than 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I knew that
You're
one
not
was gonna
charging
go
enough
fast.
then.
I left it on reverb 2 days after it was already sold.
Mhm.
Just because I didn't want to take it down.
I already paid all these fees to have it here. Want people to at least look at it. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that was going to go quick. I mean,
I wish I had more.
now I would be
It's all
curious to,
gone.
if you had some more pictures of some of those early ones that had the version 1 on it. I've noticed that on the butt end of the GL, this little thing here is different and it sticks out of the body as opposed to the body being molded around the version 2. I'd be curious to see what that looks like. Do you know if Jeff has any pictures with a version 1 GL with the trim out so that we could kind of see that?
Yeah, I've got plenty of pictures. I could email them to you and you can show them next week if you're interested.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love that. Appreciate that.
Great.
Let's see. Had a question over here. Where was it? Cecil Music. If you had to choose, which do you prefer, your GM or your GL? If I had to choose, it would be the GL for sure.
It's that
If
Ed
you had
thing.
to sell one, you'd keep the GL.
Oh, the GL's never going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as if somebody said, "Hey, let's go and gig somewhere tomorrow," I would take this one. For one, because it's already worn in. I don't have to worry about it getting knocked. And I don't know. It's just a little bit more comfortable to play. You know, when it's hanging, it just feels more like a regular guitar. The little body of the GL is moving around, and you know, when you're standing, it's not as bad. But when I'm sitting here, thing's moving around, and so
Resting on your leg.
I like the comfort of this one a little bit more. But
Serious ass first world problems we're talking about here.
yes. I mean, it's like this. The struggle is real. Which Steinberger with a TransTrem do you keep? You know,
You got 2 arms. You can carry them both.
when I took out the Les Paul after playing the GL, I was like, "This is really big." That's what she said.
Okay,
That's what she said.
since you did it. Blue Mox says copper 89 split coil, but they are really low output on the split from the ones I've had. Okay, so we've got some experience speaking there.
So
Interesting.
This low output on the split. I'll have to ask around and get some feedback on that.
So we had a little bit of a discussion when I had bought this guitar. I told you that I thought that it had the Has system in it, which maybe I'm misunderstanding what that is. Can you explain what that is on these guitars? If it has a Has, how do you know that it has Has?
So there could be a boost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for sure.
I don't see a Has on it. You don't have a switch.
Okay. So what is a switch does like a
boost.
signal, just a signal boost?
Yep.
Like a mid boost or something.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that this had some kind of something because this tone knob kind of locks in that middle position where that's normal. And then when you go this way, it gives you a bass boost. And then when you go this way, it gives you a treble boost.
Kind of like a tone knob.
So that has electronics in it.
It does?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is there a battery in there? I guess there is anyways.
It is for the pickup.
Battery.
Yeah. So I didn't know. So some of them then would have a switch, and then others would have this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And there's several different components with Has that he made for Steinberger. Henry Zazak. I still speak to him. Nice guy.
Cool.
So he's still making them.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What else is going on over here in the chat?
R2's.
Certainly YouTube.
I figured Randy would pipe up if we made a mistake here. He says no. Jerry Cantrell plays the Motor City pickups, the FYU.
Okay. Well, I bet
There
you
you
have
go.
a few different kinds, but yeah.
He says the Black Belt pickups are also Motor City pickups.
What did I say? Didn't I
Well,
say
I
Motor
think
City?
that's what we meant was Motor City is what Jerry Cantrell
Bare knuckles.
uses.
Bare knuckles, right? That's what I said.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
How
Yeah.
big of a company is Motor City Pickups? I haven't heard of them.
Battery.
Not very big. Boat
Not very
cheap.
big.
I think they're $300-$400 a pickup. But I'm
Oh,
sure
wow.
Randy will correct us or correct me. Seeing as it's his
This
birthday
is
and
kind of
everything.
fun. Oh, shit. Moved.
Quentin says that I sit in front of a green screen and really use a Line 6 pod.
kidding me?
You've found me out. Way better than Mancuta's guitars on Tuesdays.
You don't like
Well,
PC Rich? Crosser?
I was not around for the Mancuda era, so
Right?
I've heard things and I've seen pictures. Oh my god, have I seen pictures?
Right? Yeah.
Mad Dog is here. Welcome in.
Woo!
Hit Metalworks wants to know, he's an Explorer shaped object player. When is the TransTrem Explorer shape
That'd
coming
be
out?
hard to place.
Oh my
even-
god. I was talking with someone about that last weekend.
Really?
Yeah, it's coming sooner than you think.
Oh.
Stay tuned, folks.
Yep.
Any more information? I mean,
No.
obviously, this is somebody that's doing something custom.
Just keep on Andy Yakubik about making necks, and we'll get it done.
Interesting.
We gotta get
Interesting.
Andy back on. We gotta get Andy back on. Come on.
And
Live
get
from
in,
the space
ask
station.
him about necks.
Right?
Steinberger trims also just look good. They do. They're sexy trims, aren't they?
Right. From
I
an
don't know about the
engineering
trim,
point
but
of view,
the arm is particularly nice.
you like the shifter?
Very, very stout looking, right?
Yep.
and
That's a fucking
there's
arm.
shorter arms as well.
I've kind of gotten used to.
Look at the size of
That
that.
one stands a little more erect than the GL.
It's proud.
No, I don't think I've just ever held up the GL that way. But they're the same. They're the
Got a
same.
bent wang.
I do find that I sling this one a little bit lower. I lock it down a little lower. The GL is typically right about here, and I don't know why. But I don't know.
Extra wood, right? The way it sits on your lap. And where it's
That's why I was telling you guys the other day that I went to play the GL, and I went to go grab the bar way down here, and it's like I was hitting my hand on it because I was used to this one being down there so far. Let's see. Somebody lives on a yellow brick road. I don't know what Randy's talking about now.
It is
Which I believe today is Randy's birthday.
Randy's
Did I hear-
birthday, yeah.
Did I hear that?
Happy birthday, Randy.
Happy.
yeah.
Marshall just set up a Steinberger. Was it
Can
a
you guys play
TransTrem?
Happy Birthday?
Are we what?
I said, can you guys play Happy Birthday? Just kidding. Just
You know,
Oh, we could go on
I
off.
never actually learned that.
Are you not plugged in?
What are the notes? What are the notes? Do we
Major
know?
scale.
Is it?
Well,
Well, there you go. John's got it.
That's all you get.
Nice.
That's all we get.
Good enough.
Good enough. There we go. Way to go, John. Appreciate it. Quentin, don't be
Happy
jealous.
birthday, dear Randy.
Happy birthday to you.
That was my Marilyn Monroe impression singing Happy Birthday. Sorry.
Perfect.
I can see it. You know, get a little fan under there, get that shirt puffed up a bit.
That's right. Push my boobs up. Get the wig.
Scott Brockway says, I want a pink one like Alan Holdsworth.
That's fine.
I saw a post on Facebook and somebody said, I got my second pink Steinberger. So I now own 16% of all of them that were produced.
That one's coming here actually for restoration.
Is it? Okay, so you know who I'm talking about.
Those are the pink ladies, and they're very, very desirable.
Right? Well, I would imagine so. If there's only, what is that, 2 make 16%, that would only be, what, 12, 13 of them ever made?
A lot of people don't know this, but one of the originals went to Buck Dharma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buck Dharma, who plays the cheeseburger.
Yeah,
right?
he gave it to his friend, and he plays the cheeseburger.
Oh. He had that guitar for a long, long time, didn't he?
Yeah, he loves that guitar.
Let's see. Sova's got some issues with guitars that are silent for 1.5 hours. Or is he taking a jab at us that we haven't played anything in 1.5 hours?
That's what it is, but I'm not playing anything because
everything.
You're not plugged
We have a
in.
guest tonight. We're talking with Natalie.
You guys can play.
No, I actually
You can request, Natalie, and
part
it'll
of
be done. Right? It's your show.
Part of my silent rig went by Canada Post out to Ontario this morning.
Oh, really?
Done.
After that horrendous show last night.
Oh, my
Fuck
goodness.
you, out you go.
What happened? Oh, okay. I didn't see what happened.
Oh, just I was fighting my guitar all night last night.
It wasn't that bad, John. We've got Gary Harris is here. Welcome. He says, I heard the TransTrem is going back in production. The TransTrem is already back in production with a company called RWB. And I don't know if it's a competition for Natalie but we're going to...
Friendly competition.
Friendly competition. There we go. The TransTrem is in production, and you can buy a full new production TransTrem from RWB Engineering.
Well, how is it competition for Natalie? Because Natalie doesn't manufacture a TransTrem.
So
Give him 7 seconds here, Natalie. See if it dawns on him.
sorry, come again. I can't hear you.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything.
No, we're working on a TransTrem with J Custom.
Oh,
But-
for Christ's sakes. Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to go
Sorry.
pee. I'll be back in a minute.
No, I think that was already some knowledge. I think you'd already said that at some point.
Wait, the transposing arm needs to be a little stronger, and then we're there.
Nice. Cecil says Pariah is another good pickup company.
Yeah.
Everybody's...
Pasadena Black, the Pasadena White. Those are good pickups.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Buck says, seriously, how do we get Jeff on? I think it's just a matter of asking and him finding time, I would think.
Of course,
Yep.
we're flexible.
So Jeff said he'd love to come on when Ned has time, and they'll go on together.
Yep, we would love to have both of them.
But I just got a text that Ed Roman made an Explorer TransTrem Headless 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I could show you guys. if
Yeah,
interested.
let's see.
Holy snapping turtles.
There we go.
That
There you
would
There it is.
be good.
There you go, Ken.
I think I just fell in love.
With the guitar?
Mm-hmm. I'm an
Let's see.
explorer-shaped object guy, too.
Set up by Marshall's here. Welcome in. Marshall
Good to see you, brother.
says, I just did a setup on a Steinberger. Pretty cool guitars. I'm interested in what model it was. He says, where is the truss rod adjustment done on that model? There may not be a truss rod. So
Right?
No.
that's what I'm wondering, what model it was that you had.
It is what it is.
Randy says, thanks, guys, and Natalie. I don't know what for, but
I think it
you're
was
welcome.
birthday.
First
wish.
birthday.
You're a little far back.
Oh, I'm just scrolling through, getting what I can get.
Scrolling, raw.
Bo says, what scale does the TransTrem need? I think is it 20? It's just standard scale, right? 25.
24 and a half or 20.
Now it is a 24.
Jeff told me I can pull it up right now.
It's a
Excellent.
24
A wealth
fret.
of knowledge, folks. So good having you here, Natalie.
Thanks. Well, Jeff actually was quizzing me on it the other, and he's like, the next time I see you, you better have it known by heart.
That's fun.
So,
So we're actually helping you out here. This is
I'm
pretty
telling
cool.
on myself that I don't know yet. Okay. So the Fender scale length is 25.5. The Gibson scale length is 24.75. And the Steinberger scale length, I did not.
We know everything, but
I'm in trouble with Ned.
I think that it's 25.5 as well.
I think it's the Fender scale length.
Yeah, I could be mistaken though.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see. Buck Dharma, Don't Fear the Reaper. Blue Oyster Cult, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a happy belated birthday for Fur Buffle.
Yeah. Ferd had a birthday last week. I think earlier this week. Yeah. Right.
Marshall says only accordion should be left unplugged. Talking about the guitars making no noise, I guess. R2 can't come on. His neighbor caught him in his garage stealing his Wi-Fi signal again.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, I say this all the time. Cecil says no doubt Ned was ahead of his time with his designs.
I think they're like 40 years old or more, right?
And here we are still talking about them. Still talking about them.
Well, and nobody else has ever really kind of tiptoed into that neighborhood.
Try to think about what you were doing 40 years ago.
I know
wasn't
exactly.
born yet.
I
I was
exactly.
14.
I know exactly what I was doing. I was watching Van Halen live without a net.
I was discovering thrash metal, switching from Iron Maiden, AC/DC, and Judas Priest to Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica, Pantera, in the 90s.
All awesome, guys.
Right?
Marshall says, I can't tell you what model. It was a very old guitar, 80s era. The print was almost completely gone, and I didn't even look for a model number. What kind of bridge did it have? Did it have something that looked similar to that? Or something else? Let's see. Gary Harris, have you guys had trouble with the G-string breaking constantly? I added a roller bearing behind the stock roller blocks to reduce the bend going over the stock roller. Me personally, I have not. The string
Mainly
that
the E string.
the string that always breaks for me is the E string. And you know what? Very honestly, it's usually after I've It's usually after doing that a whole bunch
Right?
with that get up
Oh, that's so good, though. It's so good.
because
That sounded amazing.
he's putting it through the whole range. He's doing the and then down, and so you're constantly flexing that ball, on that E string. This gives me another opportunity to show something. We've all seen the close up on this, and maybe move this out of the way. Well, now it's not going to focus. There it is. But the E string sits up rather high.
It does.
And it seems that when you do the motion here, it seems to get a lot of friction right up against the jaw. And then when you're doing that back and forth, I don't know if that's
a good point.
That's going to create some wear for sure.
Yeah, it always breaks. Every time it
bet
breaks, it breaks
That
off.
E-string looks like it's up pretty
That's
high,
where
too.
you notice it breaks right there.
It breaks right there at the ball. Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
Looking at the little circles.
Probably
the E-string
you have more TransTrem Steinbergers with E string breaking than other guitars.
yeah. Well, I mean, think about taking your favorite guitar off of its stand, taking the E string, and then twisting the tuner until it gets to a G. You're going two
That's when they
steps.
snap. That's when they snap.
You're going two steps beyond what you would normally tune that to.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are scared when we're tuning our guitar to get that one to E. you know, because we're like, oh, don't break, don't break, don't break. Oh, I made it to E. Think about going up 2 more steps on tension with that. And that's what this thing is doing. And if you're doing it quickly and going back and forth, yeah, right there. Always pops.
You bet.
40 grit says those balls can only take so much.
Breaking up, Captain.
Michael Peters is here. Welcome in, Michaels. He says, just thought I would confirm Steinberger scale length is 25 and a half. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that.
See? And now you know.
So it's a fender scale.
Yeah, I remember that's what Jeff said, but I wasn't 100% sure, even though he really wants me to be.
Right.
That's all right. I'll help you with your home.
Marshall says it was definitely a different vibrato system. A tremolo system would adjust the volume. It used bullet ball style strings. Ball went in the nut. Bullet went in the vibrato.
What?
That doesn't sound like any Steinberger I've heard of.
Yeah, no, I remember those strings. They're brass.
Do you have pictures? You have pictures, Marshall? Send him a link. What?
The bullet end is brass, isn't it, Marshall? I remember those strings.
No, there used to be a
old school strings.
Yeah, you're talking about the Fender bullet strings. That's exactly what they were called because they had like a little bullet end on them.
Brass.
Yeah.
Bullet.
Yeah. And then Floyd Rose made a system that was like that. It had like this special bullet.
That's what I would have seen.
That clipped down in there, and then that didn't last very long. 40 grit, I think, is the one that was asking about some of the Steinbergers. So 40 grit, if you haven't contacted Natalie yet, make sure you give her a shout. I pointed him over to your reverb because you have a G1 MT for sale, correct?
I do. I should lower the price on it. It's a little high, but she's been sitting there for a while. One issue I do want to bring up is that we are having some issues with manufacturing cases. So our warehouse in China for our beautiful TKL cases, which make cases for Martin guitars, they flooded. So our entire order of cases got flooded.
Oh no!
So we're having a little bit of issues with hard and soft shell cases right now.
Little supply problem. Well, fortunately, this guitar came with its original Steinberger case. Nice. And that was another reason that I jumped on this one. How often do you... Because usually they came with a gig bag, right? Even from when you bought them new. Unless you requested a hard shell case, right?
An original hard shell case is really valuable.
Nice.
It's got to be worth $25 all day long.
At least.
That's 150 Canadian.
Exactly. Putting us in the poorhouse.
Floyd Rose bullets is what R2
I think
said.
that's what I remember those strings to be.
And Scott, I think, is a little more accurate. It was called the speed loader system. Right on. Let's see.
That was one and done, I think, those.
I think that's what she was just saying. Does the one on Reverb have a case? You don't have a case that would be available for it at this time.
Don always sold the cases separately, but when I sell a full guitar and Reverb, I like to throw in a hard shell case just to make sure it's shipped correct. Well,
$75,000 for a guitar, but you got to spend $500 on a case.
Hang on a minute. I paid extra for the hard shell case with the GL. Can I get my money back now? You'll get me on the next one, right?
Yeah, the next one. When the case supply didn't flood.
No photos. The vibrato could have been changed out or altered. I don't know. It grew up in Portland, Oregon. I don't take photos of every guitar.
Fair enough, brother.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cool. Would have been cool.
That's what, 3.5 hours, 4 hours for us?
Get to Portland?
Yeah.
Depends on the border.
I was going to say,
even on a Friday of a long weekend, you're fucked. You're going to spend 6 hours getting through that line.
Yep.
That's just dumb.
But on a Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock, you're going to sail right through. Maybe
you get through Seattle before rush hour.
Tacoma, all that shit. But they have some highways with some express lanes, right? You get an express lane, and it means that you're going all the way through. You're not getting off anywhere.
Except we have to stop in Olympia and see Kurt.
There you go.
Right? Well, no, it's not Olympia.
So Cecil has a very, very important thing. I'm liking the way you think. TransTrem is the most musical sounding trim. It's not even debatable. I would agree with you.
John did put those super special, going to be kind of funny on a
UK
Floyd,
built, what were
right?
they called? Klein strings.
Yeah.
Have
On
you
your
got
shirt.
rid of them yet, or
They're still in the shirt.
no? They're gone. You've already changed them.
Oh, they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd pull them
They
up
do a thing, though.
and the D and the G, you'd be able to do that kind of thing with it. But once you went to play a chord, your E string and your B string are complete.
It's not following.
snip, out you go.
It was a set of strings, I think, that Andy had told us about. Was it Andy?
Klein, that's right. Yeah.
John is
Yeah.
picky. I mean,
And
he's throwing new strings, not even unboxed, in the garbage because they were stupid.
yeah. Now we didn't expect TransTrem performance, but the strings were supposed to kind of give you some kind
Every
of
string is tension and calibrated for its
Yeah.
thing on a floating trim, kind of supposed to be more in
It
tune.
worked great on those two strings, on the G and the D.
Yeah.
But threw the rest out.
Gotcha.
The G and the D were still the
It only did one thing, is what you're saying.
Now, what's the name of that new trim that I've been seeing on the Strat shape guitars? Rick something. Anybody in the chat know what it is? Rick something, where it transposes when you move the bar up and down. You just can't lock it in position. Have you heard of this one yet, Natalie?
No, I'm really, really curious.
Somebody in the chat here will put it in a minute. It's Rick
Yeah.
something, right? 40 grit. Now he's making excuses now. I did just buy a Murphy Lab Gold Top R7 in Nashville at the Gibson Garage on Tuesday. Now this time Steinberger comes back on radar.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He was chasing you pretty hard for the one you have right now.
Yeah,
Strat
in
for the
the
full
chat
bar.
there the other night. Yeah. Dan Gorman is here. Welcome in, Dan. Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you. Rick Tunes. That's right. Let's see if we can pull something up here. I'm going to look them up. Rick Tunes
Sounds like a garage.
guitar.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna let the dogs out.
All right.
Who let the dogs out?
Yeah, I think this is it here.
You got to do the big route too and all that, I guess.
No, I think it fits into a normal style guitar. Let me share this and we'll take a look at it. Let's see. Share screen. Rick Tune. And I need to take and move that over here. All right. Can we see it yet? There we go. So
Fuck me! Look at this.
yeah. So he makes the whole guitar,
Okay.
and this bridge that's on it supposedly transposes up and down, just like a TransTrem would, but you cannot lock it into a position. So let's see.
Game changer.
Just trying to see if there's some kind of video on it.
Where do you think they got game changer?
This is
There you
a Rick Tune 67.
Would it be okay to play this dude's video? I guess. I guess
yeah,
it'd be
I
all
think
right. It's just
We'll
advertising,
find out.
right?
You could get.
Which at first glance looks like a normal Strat style
The
guitar
guitar, the tremolo. Here we go.
design. There's springs in the back with a claw arm, and you can add springs or take away springs to change the tension, and you can use regular strings right through the
Same
body
group,
again,
yeah.
like a normal tremolo. And then on the front, we have our normal 6 individual saddles with height
Well, those
adjustments
are
and
long.
intonation adjustments.
Nothing
So if
about
you've
that
ever-
looks normal though, does it?
No, the saddles are 9 inches long.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get to where he's playing something.
There we
here.
go.
Most tremolos function by moving the entire bridge up or down on 2 stationary posts. By contrast, the surface of Rick's bridge
you guys
doesn't
hearing
move
this?
at all, and all
Yep.
of the string manipulation happens internally. This has a few major benefits.
Oh,
Since the surface
wow.
doesn't move, you can press down on the bridge as hard as you'd like,
Like
and
a
the pitch doesn't
transmission
change.
pricing.
Yeah.
The entire surface is also completely smooth and comfortable, which will make this bridge really great for aggressive palm muters. And then as you use the whammy bar, the
Pantera.
string height itself doesn't change whatsoever. Another great detail is the arm tightness adjustment screw. This
Okay,
is usually a
get some more
tiny gut
playing.
screw
Here we
behind
go.
the
No, fired. Oh my God!
But then you're doing like Pulp Fiction with your
I can hear that it's not accurate.
Oh,
It's very
fucking
surf-
dog can hear it's not accurate.
It sounds like
It sounds like a
surf rock.
Telecaster with one of those flat plate thingies on.
Hang on. What'd you say, Natalie?
Sounds like surfy. It's got like
Yeah.
a surf sound.
Yeah, a little bit. But what's he playing there? He's just playing a. All right, let me get to something.
Just want to say those inlays are stupid.
1, 2, 3.
Well, how
4,
else are you
5,
supposed to
6,
know
7,
what fret
8,
you're
9,
on?
10, 11, 12.
I mean,
Oh,
Thank you very much.
hear how much more accurate that is. I
Yes.
don't know if y'all can hear the difference in that. Let me go back a little bit.
You gotta be tone deaf if you can't hear that. Oh,
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna throw up.
Pickle juice.
Oh my God.
oh my word. Okay, so it's a good idea there, but yeah. Let's see.
A minor third up.
Or Rick
Flat
Owen.
4 down. There you go.
I mean, no comparison. Yeah, you know.
Scott is right though. Those were Jason Becker inlays.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've seen enough of that, right?
That's enough of Mr. Toony Tunes.
It sounds like it needs a little more tweaking on it. What did everybody in the chat think of that? Let's see. Rob Blackmore's surprise, shock
He loved
face.
That was awesome.
Settle down, Rob. Settle down. It's okay.
Scott
Okay,
said
you
he
need a hug?
talks a lot. Yeah, he talks a lot. Horrible. My dog barking.
Can't hear it.
Randy Price says trash. KXM says the TransTrem sounds beautiful.
Indeed.
And clarity. Of which one, Bruce? Which one?
Right. Be
Sounds
specific.
like Looney Tunes, exactly.
Scott says no comment. Don't want you to think I'm negative.
That in itself is very positive, Scott. I mean, we're glad you're working on your character.
That's a running joke here that Scott is always so negative about everything that's going on.
Debbie
So,
Downer.
Love you, Scotty.
let me boost the bass on this.
Using
I
your
mean,
boost, your has boost.
Yeah. Has boost, will travel. I'm sorry,
Even
but
that's not the most graceful on its way down, but when you get to it, it's
yeah.
perfect.
Beautiful.
Guess that's a try.
That other guy tuned there, he's probably sponsored by Canton Strings. North Carolina NC.
Yeah, I don't think it's even just like Jimmy says. Not even close. Not even close. Bruce says yours is clarity and makes sense to my brain.
The other one's like sticking a mix master in your brain and go.
Yeah. Gary says, have any of you tried the Wonder Bar? It came out in the 80s and had a torsion bar instead of coil springs. Quentin James loves those.
Got a roller, it's kind
Wonder
of a
bars.
Kaler roller thing, right?
So Quentin would be the one. I think every one of his guitars has that on there. That was the Washburn Wonder Bar, right?
Washburn.
Fun to buy.
It does sound a little Pink Floyd-y. Gilmore used a TransTrem from time to time.
I didn't know that.
Really? Even on the, didn't he play one with Kate Bush there during that one song?
Running Up the Hill or something? Did he play that?
No, it was the other one.
God,
the
that'd
other
be cool.
Oh no, that's the
Bar's
only
a
Kate
great
Bush
chocolate
song.
bar.
But Gilmore did, yeah. No, there's a video with him playing the Steinberger journey.
Yeah, the album intro on Sorrow, he played with a TransTrem.
So I've seen him play, but I didn't know he played on albums.
You know what? It's been a minute since you guys played that song. Do I got to put a super chat down?
I don't have the ability to play.
Yeah, he's not even plugged in tonight.
So a piece of my gear is gone. It's on its way to Toronto.
How much for the IRX?
$650?
Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian.
Can they give you payments?
Rob has a good point here. He says we need to take that guy's trim out to the back of the woodshed and just go ahead and just take care of it.
Boy.
That's what we thought of that. I mean, it's interesting that people are trying to still come up with something that will do that. But
well, I mean, the thing that works that's along that philosophy, but it's kind of the opposite effect, is the Evertune. With its long legs and springs, and every string is got a certain tension setting. And it doesn't matter what you do to the strings, it's always going to have that tension setting. Or you can set it to give a little bit of bend, right?
Yep.
And I mean, you look at one of those underneath the bridge and what's going on. Everything has got its own little dog leg, spring, rigging thing. And it's fascinating.
Yep. It's interesting. But I don't think anybody has come up with anything as cool as the TransTrem from Mr. Ned Steinberger back in the 80s.
So John, when are you going to be able to plug in again?
Good question.
Oh, I've got my big rig. It's just on Thursdays, or Wednesdays, Thursdays. My wife's working upstairs. She's got an office, and she's doing Zoom meetings and those sorts of things. So having that big ruckus, because I don't play quiet, it shakes the whole house.
Marshall says, just use a sim.
Well, you know what?
I can hear.
You know what? You'd be interesting to see where I end up, because I need a solution, a silent solution, but it won't be. I don't think.
I've been really interested in that lately. It's been kind of like, in my For You page on Instagram, silent solutions to playing. I mean, we have all this like virtual reality stuff. There has to be kind of a silent solution.
Well, there is, but they all sound like crap.
Yeah, they all sound horrible.
So
I was watching the Bukovac. Who was it? The interview with Satriani and Vi and the G3 tour guys. It was interesting because Joe was saying, as a guitar player in a room listening to yourself play, there's nothing better than a good old-fashioned tube amp.
I mean,
once you record something and you upload something and you put it into the digitals, it's all getting compressed anyways. And at that point, you might as well be using a digitizer or whatever, right?
I mean, I'm guilty of being really into analog sound, so.
It's not guilt. That's called proper.
Yeah,
somebody raised you properly.
I'm like 1,000% into like everything organic. Analog.
And that's what Ryan and I do, right? They're on analog signals, analog mics, digital effects, but straight in. And that's what we do most of the time. But like I said, I'm in a situation where I have to. So, I might look at some sort of modeling because I mean, what do we do on Thursdays? And it's not like, why does a modeler sound like shit? A lot of it is for rhythm playing, right? The lead tones aren't. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I can't.
Well, carry on. I mean, you're making sense. It sounds like you're talking yourself through the decision here, and we're here to help. We're here to help.
Today,
I mean, I didn't really think when you had your IRX and all that.
It's not that. It's like whatever goes out there, because I've listened back to stuff and it sounds great, but the fucking noise and the immediacy of that bullshit, I can't. I mean, it's like. That is the most Cadillac creme de la creme setup with the wet dry and all the rest of it.
Absolutely.
This is like plugging into
pull that cover off.
Yeah, and it sounds great, but it just
doesn't have the same feel. It's not inspiring.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Where are you guys with like pedals? Like, what pedals do you like?
We've got our harmonizers and stuff to get that wet sound, but then we both have the old SD 3000. That's a digital, but I mean, that's 80s digital. And then analog drives and MXR, old analog, like a Phase 90 and a flanger.
Nice.
That's all I have is a wah phaser and a flanger. Right
You
there.
see the interview
Ed
with
Dubrell
Eddie?
would say a war.
You see the interview with Eddie where he's like, I don't need any pedals.
Yep.
Yeah, bullshit. He used a lot of pedals.
Well, he
He didn't
was
use drive pedals.
He did not use drive pedals. It all came
Yes.
from the amp. Yeah. So
Because he put everything on 10.
So, John, I think what you just need is a Steinberger with a TransTrem, and it would just sound great through anything.
Right into the Roadcaster.
Just bring it down like this here.
There you go. Yep. Just get the string noise. Yep. Yep. There you go. John says just get you an RP360 XP like Quentin.
No, fella.
Yeah.
So, Natalie, have you heard from Satriani yet? Looking for a TransTrem guitar for his Van Halen tribute coming up?
No, I need to reach out to that camp.
Right. Because if he's going to play Summer Nights properly, he's going to need a TransTrem.
Yeah, I should reach out and see what's going on in that department. I
See if
do
you
like to reach out to the touring Steinberger artists and see what their needs are.
Well, that's the thing is he's an
Are they
Ibanez artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
Well, the thing is too is you could just do I don't know what, but you could lease it to him or something for the tour, because he would. I don't think he would ever. Well, maybe he'd fall in love with it, eh?
Never know.
Who knows?
What if you took one of the Ibanez headless guitars and gave it to Jeff and said, "Here, can you put a TransTrem on it?" And then you presented it to Joe and said, "Here, play this for your summer nights and whatnot."
Well, Ibanez does use different types of bridges on their guitars, but they're still Ibanez guitars. Did you make an Ibanez guitar with a Steinberger bridge?
Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now, my goal this year is $500 under TransTrem, $500 under neck, and then all we have to worry about is bodies, and it's game time. It'll be fun.
Bodies on the
There
floor.
we go.
Yep.
So we have a goal. We have a goal.
We have a very crazy goal.
Excellent.
Yep. It'll be
That
fun
would-
if we can do that.
That would be. That would be. Could
Oh
you
yeah,
imagine
Leslie West uses Steinberger. I love Leslie West.
Steinberger for a time also? He was the mountain guy, right?
Yep, that was one of Don's. That was Don's favorite band.
Nice.
Mountain, Poco, and Spirit.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool for people to be able to get the parts and put stuff together. We might start seeing some really, really interesting stuff out there.
Yeah, Headless might overcome Headstock. If we'll see.
I think it might be heading that way.
Just put a blow up headstock on there. Anything
You
this
know,
way
I was kind of thinking about that for an option for like that one that I've got over there, because I'm honestly of the opinion that you just cannot get a guitar to transpose as well as it should unless it's a double ball headless guitar to the proper scale. I mean, you can get close. So I was wondering if there was some type of modification where the headstock is still there, but it's got like a double ball nut
Have you
on the
have you
end.
played a GS7T?
I have not.
I'd love to send you one. Like,
Okay.
you play it, see what you
GS7T.
think. That'd be really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, send it on. I'll be
I'll
more
send-
than happy to play it.
I'll send you one.
All right,
What's
cool.
a GS7T?
It's the one that has a headstock and it's got locking tuners on it, correct? And then a roller nut.
This is that moving capo thing?
No.
No.
I'm sure Natalie
Trev.
has a picture of one somewhere.
I'm looking at
Trev's
got one.
Trev's
Got one.
already on
Probably
it.
already working on it.
I'll bring one out next time. Well, maybe Ryan will have it by then.
Yeah, I'll play it. I'll let you know what I think.
Well, you
of
know,
it.
anything you send is a one-way trip, right, Nat? The only thing that comes back to you is cash.
Basically a retail sale.
Yeah.
She'd be like, "Where's my money?" Like the kid on Better Off Dead.
I need money.
Where's my $2? I mean, come on. You can't get a modeler to sound like that.
How was it, to meet Leslie West? Was he with it or what? The 90s? I know he had a pretty good relationship with booze.
I'm waiting for John to tell me to shut up.
Why?
Because you were trying to talk to Bo there.
That's
So
fine.
No, because
met Leslie West
it's
back
all
in the 90s.
volume, right? You had it just perfect.
You had it
Was it?
right. We could still hear John, and it was perfect. Yeah, you were backing track.
So I wasn't playing loud enough, is what
No,
you're saying.
no, that was perfect. Fuck that.
You know, John, who founded Headless USA, he used to have a guitar store called Rainbow Music before he founded Headless USA, and he used to supply Leslie West with like last minute speakers and stuff for his shows.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What other can you tell us any other of the recent artists that are still playing Steinbergers that get with you for parts and strings and whatnot?
Yeah, so Jace Venture Jace Venture's, he just got his Q-Bass running. He's the band Marvelous 3. They had a hit song. Gosh, I don't remember the name of it. At the top of my head.
It was a hit, though.
It was a hit.
Yep.
Gosh, what was Marvelous 3?
No,
I don't remember
this
the
is
name of it. Oh, man.
this is the best picture I could come up with for a GS7G.
Yeah, that works.
It looks
So-
like a Parker fly neck almost.
Yeah, it's got the little single coil in there, eh? What that? And there's a switch. Oh,
Wow,
is
that's
that,
a lot of
three-way?
pickups to jam in a small spot.
right? Where's the pick
That has
go?
a lot of pickups.
But
The
it-
No
Marvelous-
lock. Yeah.
But
the
it's
Marvelous- I'm sorry, guys.
it's a full body on the trim side. So the adjustment spring screw comes way out, and then it's got a headstock on it. Yeah. Yep.
That's
so it's
cool.
got a full headstock on it. So it's
You
like
have one of those, Nat?
I have a few of those.
Right on.
Yep. The Marvelous 3 song was Freak of the Week. I don't want to do Jace dirty like that.
couldn't
Yeah.
leave it hanging.
That's fair.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a GS7TA and there's a GS7ZA.
What is the Z?
So the Z is a different type of trem that they made.
Okay.
But some people who play them, they're like Xander Demos. So he might be here tonight watching. He said he was going to watch this. He's like really into the Z's. I need to learn a little bit more about them.
A GS7Z, you say?
Yeah, it's called a Z trem.
So the one that Trev showed us there, that's TransTrem. Is it a wood-bodied guitar? So it's a wood-bodied guitar and it looks like a composite neck, right?
You know, I don't know much about the neck. That was a Gibson era. Basically, what I know is Gibson told Ned, we're going to make a
Is this-
Steinberger with a headstock.
Is this what you're talking about? Yeah.
But the
not a
tuners are really
TransTrem, though.
interesting.
That
that
is,
looks like-
Oh, that's
Z.
the other one. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, they are. Look at that. Little thumb screws.
Yeah.
Those locking trems or locking tuners except on
locking
the front.
tuner. Yep. But that a Z so it's got a pivot screws.
You want to go back? Yeah, like a Floyd, right? It's got the two pivots. There we go. I'm coming back.
Oh, I meant to click on this one. Are the GS7s more expensive than the GL?
Nothing is more expensive than a GL2T.
Yeah.
And that a lot of that is like with Eddie.
Is it all Eddie? Yeah.
It's since Eddie passed away as well. They're just becoming a collector's item.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's awesome, Bo.
Let's see. Cecil says, hope J Custom knocks it out of the park with their version of the TransTrem.
I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to that more than anything.
Michael Peters says, I would think a GS guitar with a TransTrem would have to have a locking nut, wouldn't it? I don't think it could possibly transpose properly
Well-
if it didn't.
You look at those tuners, they're like locking tuners, right? So I guess you just have a good nut.
That's why I have all the respect for Ned and his designs. The guitar that I have with the locking nut on it, if I leave the locking nut off and it's just the locking tuners that the string is on there, and I transpose, it works, you know. And then when I put the locking nut on it, I have to make some adjustments to the calibration. So, you know, I don't know what all of his formulas were for what made the thing work, but it just works, and he figured out how to do it. So I would be very, very interested to see how one of those with headstock performs.
We're gonna send you one. It's gonna be really fun to watch you play. Maybe next Thursday.
Cool. I will certainly play it. I will not argue with you about that.
Good.
Bo says, hey, John, King's X is coming here to a local venue. I'm going to see if Ty remembers me from back at the Harpo shows back in the 80s.
Awesome.
I would love to be at that show.
Yeah.
I would love to see King X.
They're not coming up to Vancouver, I don't think.
But, so that's only just a hop, skip, and a jump away over to Michigan, right? You can make it there for the show and back, right?
Is it in Detroit?
Yeah, I think so, isn't it? Detroit, Bo?
I love Detroit.
Let's see. Steinbergers definitely have a tone. They do, but between the different models, they have a very distinct tone as well. The GL and the GM, you can tell that they're related, but they've definitely got a different tone. At least these two do. But I think it's more consistent than other guitars would have. Wouldn't you think, Natalie?
Yeah, it's a very, very consistent tone. But it's hard for me to say because, Strats have a very consistent tone. Like, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, they do that thing. Is that something that Ned has ever talked to you about, is how they tried to be very consistent with the different guitars, or was that ever a conversation?
That's a conversation I'd love to have with him.
Mm-hmm. Because
I love all tone conversations.
You take a composite neck and you put it on a wood body, that's going to be a different tone than a full composite body.
How do you find the tone difference between the GM and the GL?
The GL is a more neutral tone.
Yes.
So that whatever you're putting into it, it's not getting in the way of it, if that makes sense. This guitar has more of a wood character to it.
Organic, right? Yeah.
Well, not even organic, because the GL has a thing, and it feels natural. If you strum the GL without it plugged in, just acoustically, it has a certain, how do I put this? It has a certain tone that this is a fake guitar. I don't want to say
tone.
Not well.
I'm trying to. The first time I heard it, it was almost like, I don't know the word for it. It's almost like a hospital sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just. I was kind of like, I said it to Dawn. I was like, this is too sterile.
Too sterile. Yep. But then you plug it in, and you play it, and it's like, oh my god.
On it.
Yeah. It's not a bad acoustic tone. It's very, very, very resonant. It's got its own thing with that composite body, as compared to a wood body. Hey, there's Rob, 5150 EVH is here. Welcome in, Rob. He says that his GL and his GM have a personality for sure. But I think it's a more consistent personality between the models. A GL is going to sound very, very close together, as opposed to 3 different strats. They're going to sound similar, but have some variances.
That's exactly what Don would say.
Yeah, I think the GLs are going to sound like one another. Yep, for sure. They're very, very consistent, very neutral in their tone, and whatever you put into it, it doesn't get in the way.
Palette.
Yeah.
Don actually, he taught me that 3 of the same exact Strat models will have different tone, but then 3 of the same GL models won't.
Yep, they'll sound the same. Yep.
Yeah, they'll sound the same.
Yep, for sure. A certain timber, says Jimmy Biter. Did we miss Jimmy? Has he been here all night? Welcome in, Jimmy.
He's been here a while. Yeah.
You're sleeping, though.
Randy says you should do the 18 volt or 24 volt mod and see how they sound.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah, I think that's
You
just
blow stuff up.
That's a little too much.
483 phase, man.
Randy's going to be like laughing at me when I let the smoke out of the pickup. He'll be like, I can't believe you believe me and did that.
You son are an idiot.
Yeah. Rob, man, if you're around, you want to jump in for a
Link.
few minutes
And
and
I'm
say
link.
hello? Let's see. He may
Good to
load.
see him.
How
For
you
sure.
doing for time, Natalie?
I have a little bit of time.
Excellent.
Rob can jump in.
He's party.
It's Natalie's show at this point. I mean,
It
whatever
is.
she-
Natalie has the floor, so she can do whatever.
Thanks, guys.
Request a song.
Let's see. Cecil says Don Greenwald, KXM, the founder of Headless. Oh, somebody's asking who Don.
We missed on every day.
Yeah. But you carried the torch very well, Natalie.
Just got home and he looks horrible. Rob, you're a dude. Do you really care?
Well,
Yeah, you can take a rain check. We'll get you on the next time. But
he
Rob,
just got to do his hair and makeup for next time.
yep. He's got the GL2T. He's the guy I was telling you about earlier that wanted to come on.
Really jealous.
GL2T, and he just picked up the GM or the G.
Right.
Yeah, GM1T as well.
I didn't know Rob met Dawn.
He did. He
Aw.
said, "R.I.P. Don. He was a great guy. Loved meeting him."
Rob's
He
been
was a
long
great
time,
guy.
I never
Long-time
met Don,
Steinberger
but
guy.
had some good conversations on the phone with him. He was one that if you were interested in the Steinberger, man, he would talk for as long as you wanted to sit and talk with him.
Yeah.
He'd share stories about, the Steinberger and the history and all that.
Of course, on the other end of the line, he's rolling his eyes. Goes, "Fuck, it's that Ryan guy."
I see how much I.
What
can
else
get
does
out
he
of
want to know? I mean, what else can we talk about?
Another Van Halen fan. I got one on the hook here.
You know,
No.
one thing about Don is this business didn't come up because he decided to make money off of it. It came up because he bought 200 Steinbergers.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just like made sense after a while when he was repairing them with Jeff.
Kind of happened. Well, he had a passion for it.
He did.
Hair and makeup. I'm all sweaty and gross. He sounds just like a girl. Come on.
Right?
It is messing
Put on
with
your
Rob.
pants, put on a shirt, and just turn on the camera.
He says, I went to the house to drop off my GL2T and spent the afternoon with him. Jeff
Oh, so
rebuilt it
nice.
for me back in 2019.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
I thought he was going to say 19 and then add the digits.
Pretty sure it was 2019.
Yeah.
Randy says it does the opposite and 100% reversible. The 18 volt doubles the pickup's output voltage, keeping the pickup's preamp from distorting and pushing the amp instead. Actually makes the pickups more dynamic.
That's a boost.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're going to put a pin in that, Randy.
So all you got to
Right.
do is couple up two 9-volt batteries and you're good.
Or you take the battery from your drill.
Oh,
you create
geez.
it- right? you take that
18 volts.
Black and Decker battery, just bump it into the back of your fucking
Just put
guitar.
some
right
120
back
to it. You'll be fine.
Rob says it was so nice having the opportunity to get to know him. Natalie, you're doing a great job.
Oh, that means a lot.
I remember him taking me upstairs to his bedroom in the house, and there were literally 80 burgers up there. It was insane.
I
You
know
missed
what
it.
bedroom he's talking about.
Yeah. You missed it earlier. Natalie was talking about she went up and she pulled the case out and didn't know what it was, and it's a EVH base.
Oh, is it still nearby?
Sitting
It
right in
is.
front of
I
it.
can show
Oh,
it
no,
again.
that's the
It's
picture.
it's still out. Oops, let's just hit it against the table.
They're hardy.
Oh, yeah. Rob's going to love that.
Rob, there you go. You need that for your collection. She says it is for sale.
It's a very good paint
Wow.
job. It's
It is.
gorgeous.
See you
Super
later.
nice.
There's a pivot
Fine.
plate.
Very cool. Boner Jam says, I have to finish doing some work. Hope everyone has a great weekend. See you boys soon. Great job, Natalie. Have a good night, everyone. See you, Boner.
It's way past working time, Brian.
Right? Let's see. He says they make an 18-volt kit. Do you know anything about this kit he speaks of, Natalie?
I think I know what he's talking about. He's the one that plugs into the wall so you don't need a battery. Am I wrong?
I have no idea.
I pulled 2 out of the basement the other day.
KXM Rock says just plug it to
Yeah,
120.
exactly.
And I'll do it.
240's more, mine. Come on.
Bo says, did I tell you guys I picked up a new pedal? A Lurks by Tour.
Never heard of it.
Me neither.
That means
I have
it's
no idea.
expensive if Bo bought it.
Right?
Yep.
It's more expensive than the what do they call that? Sinchar pedal.
We'll send him a link. Let's see it, Bo.
Rob says Kevin from Van Hagar has the same bass. So cool.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
The tribute band. Nice. Bo says, I know the feeling of finding things like that. Bo,
Bo's
you
your
need
resident.
to get to where you start finding some Steinbergers under some stuff. Give Natalie a shout here. Buy a couple of them things.
Bo's been
I wonder
buying
what
guitars.
he's found. Or is that
Well,
sarcasm?
see, he's been buying guitars since I think the early 70s.
Early
He doesn't
70s,
sell
yeah.
anything, and he buys. He's got pallets that come to him.
He'll
During the
pull,
Water Buffalo meetings, a guitar will be mentioned and a guitar will show up, and it'll be, oh yeah, I got one of those.
Yeah. and it'll be, oh, this one's still got the tags on it. I've never played this one. 20-year-old guitar. Let's see. Cecil says, how cool. Natalie's carrying the torch for her great friend Don and seems to genuinely love doing it.
It's easy to do because I had a lot of respect for Don as a person. And, you know, the fact that he really believed in this and loved it makes it easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we have gone a little past our normal point. So I'm about ready to wrap it up, unless you have anything interesting for show and tell still hidden under your desk there.
I will have two double necks that I bought that I'll show sometime soon.
Nice.
What
Stay tuned.
what type of double neck? 12-string, 6-string, bass, 12.
So I have a bass and a guitar, and I have a 12-string and a guitar.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
cool.
One of each.
I got to figure out where you're finding all this stuff. I guess you've got the connections where people are calling you, though. Hey, you want to buy
It's
this?
the best connection in the world. People call me and be like, "You want to buy this?" And I say, how much you want for it? They tell me. I say, "Okay."
I'll give you half of what you just asked for.
No, I don't lowball people. Well, the double neck was the last double neck I bought. I didn't lowball him. He gave me a very good price on it.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, you know, it's expensive too to do what you do and take them and have them fixed up and restored and.
Well,
Back-
and the
back
person
to
who
their
has
former
maybe
glory.
carried that instrument for 20 years, it makes sense to pass it on to someone who's going to find it a good home, right? It's like a pet. It's like having a dog that's going to live forever.
The guy I bought the double neck for, it was more important to him that somebody enjoyed it
Mm-hmm.
than anything else.
Right?
He played
Find
in
it a
the-
good home.
He played in the Marine band like 30 years ago.
That's awesome.
Well, I tell you what, if you have any Steinbergers there that somebody needs to enjoy, I would be more than happy to volunteer to enjoy them. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Test
just saying.
pilot.
Just drive anything with a Steinberger name.
Yep, absolutely. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. And you know, I got complaints from Jay 7/8 at Under the Bus about playing Summer Nights all the time. So send your complaints to Jay because we didn't play Summer Nights tonight. So
You should play the outro song you played last night. See how that
no,
More happy birthday.
more happy birthday. You got Christopher Live Silva says thanks for joining the show. I had fun tonight. A lot of information.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Always a good
Rob says he'd love to jump on next Thursday. Yeah, man. You're always welcome, man.
time. Absolutely.
Let's see.
Open invitation.
Martian Murray wants to know what kind of immortal dogs you got there, Trev.
Well, they're
Yeah,
guitars.
exactly. Lives
They're
forever.
guitars, but they're like dogs. They're like pets. But I mean, if you know you're gonna go, don't you want to find your dogs a good home?
Yeah.
Don't you want to pass your guitars on to someone more worthy than necessarily gonna? Oh, I'll spend $1.5 million on this guitar and put it behind glass for the next 50 years. Come on, that's not what that's meant to do.
Paul has another acronym for GAS, Guitar Adoption Service.
Right?
Where do I
Paul
sign up?
understands me. I love you, Paul.
Where do I sign up? I'll adopt a few. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. We'll stick around for just a little bit, and we'll say some goodbyes after the show is over. And we'll see everybody for Sunday, our community chat and jam. Natalie, if you ever want to grab a guitar and come on and jam with us, Sunday's the day to jump in and do it.
Even if you don't want to have a guitar, you're always welcome to just show up and hang out.
Aw,
Yeah,
thanks, Jeff.
always open
I'll grab a
invitation.
guitar. I'll grab a guitar. I have to sooner or later.
If Natalie plays, I'll play. I guarantee it.
There we go.
Okay.
Yep. And you've got a good mic there. You can just set the Spark amp right in front of it, and yeah, we're good to go. So,
Perfect.
all right. Thanks everybody for hanging out. And somebody had asked a little earlier what song I always play when we end the show. And it is an original tune that I did with a band years ago, probably 12, 13 years ago now. It's called Backwards.
Absolutely.
And
Everything backwards.
this
Swimming
is it right here.
backwards.
If anybody would
walking
like, for whatever reason, if you want to hear the whole track or even the whole album, just send me an email and I'll shoot you some of the tracks that you can listen to. But here
It's a good album.
It's not bad, you know. It's a bunch of amateurs. We weren't pros, but it was okay. So,
but it was in the taste of music. You know, you could tell you guys enjoyed what you did.
we did.
It
We did.
reflected back in the music, and
You know,
that's important.
I listen to a lot of those songs now, and I'm like, man, what I would have done different if I had a TransTrem.
I could just play that
back then.
E standard
that'd
all
be
the
Yeah.
time.
interesting.
Yeah. You know, that would be cool to go back through and re-record them and do something with TransTrem. I don't know. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll do some new stuff. Anyway, we'll see everyone. Have a good night. Thanks for everybody jumping in, and we will see you on Sunday.
Love you all. See you,
Latest.
Charles.
Eddie Van Halen here, telling you, keep playing, man. Gotta keep playing. It's the only thing there is. Music, man. Keep playing. All right? I'm gonna come looking for you if you don't.